Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the May 4th, 2021 meeting of the Monroe Zoning Board of Appeals. Thank you for bearing with us. And for the record, my name is Jim Wendt. Joining us on this call are board members Marion Callow, Ben Maini, and Dominic Smiriglino, staff member Rick Schultz. That is our roll call. We have one item for public hearing this evening. And I will let Mr. Schultz call our public hearing, and then we can begin that process.
Zoning Board of Appeals, Monroe, Connecticut, notice of public hearing. In accordance with Connecticut General State Statute 8-7A, public hearing will be held on Tuesday, May 4th, 2021 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter via GoToMeeting concerning the following: ZBA 20-21-01, file number 1406, 30 Rodeo Drive, RF2. Application from Robert Westland for variance of zoning section 3.2.5 as in horse. Side yard setback to the construction of a detached 20-foot by 25-foot hobby shed within 10 feet of the side yard setback. Property owner applicant Robert Westland. Please check the Town of Monroe website for announcements on meeting, cancellations, rescheduling, etc. Complete copies and details of all related materials associated with the above matters are on file and available for viewing in the Monroe Planning and Zoning Department and the town's website. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Before we get started, I see Mr. Westland here, and he can make this presentation. 4 affirmative votes are required to approve a variance. There are only 4 of us here this evening, so therefore it'll need to be a unanimous vote for you to gain an approval. Through our discussions, it would be my hope that if we're not going to be unanimous, that we would then table this matter until we can get a 5th member to listen to these proceedings and be prepared to vote. So if you're prepared to go forward under those conditions, we will, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Robert Westland. I live at 30 Rodeo Drive. Thank you for taking the time tonight to hear my appeal. My proposal is to construct a 20-foot by 25-foot structure that will be located on the northerly side, 10 feet off the current property line. This property is located in an RF2 zone, which ordinarily requires a 20-foot setback. This is why I'm seeking a variance. I'd like to state that my property is 3.29 acres and I have a very long 600-foot driveway, creating for a very deep lot. Although I have a fair amount of land, there are constraints that are keeping me from constructing within the standard RF2 setbacks. My first constraint, my property is inundated with wetlands. The site plan indicates a large portion of the wetlands in the westerly section. The second constraint is the topography. I have a 40-foot grade change within a small area around the house. The house is basically built on the top of a hill. Also, I might add that I'm intending on removing a pre-existing non-conforming structure. This would be the shed that is on the property when I purchased the house. Half of it is currently on my neighbor's property. I didn't realize the shed was half on their property until I had a survey done for this project. Again, thanks for taking the time out tonight to listen to my appeal. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'll start. Again, it's because this is a recording and we're on video, I think it's important for us to be in mind that we have to introduce ourselves for the record. So again, Jim Wendt for the record. This is a 20 by 24 foot shed. It says hobby shed on the thing. What? It's just a storage shed, or you've got actual activities that are going to be undertaken in there?
Yes, it's actually 20 by 25 is the proposed size. And, you know, with 2 small children, we're kind of bursting at the seams in the house. We're running out of space in the basement. I have hobbies that I do woodworking and different things. And I need storage space in an area to put my belongings so that they're kind of away from the kids and out of harm's way.
Okay, Jim Wendt again. I see on the survey that your septic system seems to also be a somewhat limiting factor in where you could place the shed. I guess my only question I would have is your neighbor adjacent to you who's most impacted by this. Are they aware of this proposal? Have you discussed this with them? And do you have any input from that neighbor next door?
I'm pretty good friends with these guys. They're aware of the project. I know there was some information circulated to the 5 adjoining abutting properties. The septic system is also, it's almost like I'm threading a needle here. The septic system, the tank itself is about 13, 14 feet off of where the side of that structure is going to be. So that does work. And that's why I'm at exactly 10 feet away from the property line, because I'm trying to keep it away from the tank. All of the galleys, the leaching fields are all down. They're away from where the structure is going to be, but the tank itself is approximately 13 feet away from the structure.
Right, I can see that, but so aside from the mail, so they have a mail, your neighbor has a notice of the mailing of the notice, but beyond that, have you shown them the plan, or have you had a conversation with them as to what's happening here, to the extent that they're aware of your plan?
No, we just had a verbal conversation. I didn't show them a plan.
Okay, but you've had a conversation and they've had a mailing of the notice of this hearing, so they're not, if this thing appears on the landscape, it's not going to be a surprise to them, as they've been.
No, not at all.
What's that?
I do plan on making this architecturally appealing. I want it to be an enhancement to the property. It'll certainly be better from their point of view, because like I said, that shed right now is off on their land, which I was very surprised about when I had the survey done. And I don't foresee it being, an eyesore or anything for them. It's got some coverage. If they needed any kind of screening or anything, arborvitaes, I did install about 40 arborvitaes along the property line. I replaced the arborvitaes as the old ones were kind of failing because deer were eating them. I put a different species in since then. Deer have left them alone, and they're thriving at this point. And I actually considered continuing that line, which would actually be on the property line within that 10 feet. So those are slated to grow up to about 18 to 20 feet over time. So that could offer some nice screening.
Okay. I don't have any additional questions myself. Are there any other board members that have any questions? If you do, just kind of wave your hand and I can call on you for, then you can ask any questions. No, I don't see anybody that wishes to have any other questions. So if you have nothing else, thank you, Mr. Westland. I will ask, I don't see anybody here, but I will ask for the record if there's any member of the public that wishes to be heard on this matter, either on the phone or that I can't see, or on the screen. I don't see anybody. Are there any other callers that I can't see here, Rick?
No, I think,
Okay. All right. So having heard no interest in public participation, I will close the public hearing at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will then go to our regular meeting. We have 4 members present, and we do have a set of minutes from back in September. And it looks like the 4 of us that are present this evening were present on the September 1 date. If in the packet that we received, I would welcome a motion on the minutes of September 1st.
This is Ben. I approve. Motion to approve.
Is there a second to the motion on the minutes? Dom, I think your screen is frozen. Marion, can you hear me? We have a motion by Ben to approve the minutes of September 1. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
So all right, Marion seconds the motion. Dom, can you hear us?
I think he's trying to log back in.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah. Yeah, I got kicked out. I got kicked out for some reason.
Okay. So Ben has made a motion to approve the minutes. Marion has seconded the motion to approve the minutes of September 1. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
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 All right. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Do we have a motion or discussion? Let's have a motion on the table for deliberation on this application for 30 Rodeo Drive.
Motion
Anybody?
to approve.
It was Dom making a motion to approve.
I'll second it. Ben will second it.
Seconded by Ben. Okay, so we do have a motion to approve. Dom, do you have any comments?
Nope.
Okay. Ben?
No comments.
Marion?
No, it's very difficult for me to understand what you're saying. I'm not hearing you over the computer. I'm listening to you on the phone, and it's garbled. So it's very difficult for me to participate fully when I'm not really understanding what you're saying.
Okay. I can see you. I can hear you well. There's a motion on the table to approve the application.
Well, I'm not making a motion since I really didn't hear what it was being said. I can't make a motion.
No, there is a motion already. Dom has moved. Ben has seconded. So there is a motion. I'm just asking if you had any comment.
No.
Okay. I will say I don't have any issue with this application. I think there's some topographical and wetland constraints that merit consideration here. So I will move the question. So all those in favor of the motion, raise your hand or say aye or both. Aye.
Aye.
So Marion, are you a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I don't know if you can read that.
All right. Give me your name. Give me the full motion again. What is the motion on? I mean, well, I can see you perfectly well, but I can't hear you. To approve the motion of the applicant? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Let me just say that I did not hear discussion, but looking at the plans, I see no reason not to approve it. But I really didn't hear the discussion that was going on. So I guess I can go along with it because I see no reason why I couldn't go. I'll approve it.
Okay. I think it's fair to call that a yes vote. So seeing that this application is approved 4-0. And unless we have any other business, Mr. Schultz, we will adjourn at 7:57. Oh, you're muted, Rick. I'm sorry. What's that?
Yeah, sorry about that. I just want to advise the members that the executive order ends the end of May, and we will advise you if go-to meetings, remote meetings will continue or not. So that's really the only thing I'll have to advise everyone on. Other than that, thank you all for making this.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Okay, meeting's adjourned at 7:56.
Jim, can I say something to you?
Sure.
Jim, please let's have a real meeting instead of these virtual things. I'm finding it. The telephone is very garbled. I can see you on the computer, but I can't hear you. I said, what the hell is going on? It's just very difficult, painful situation for me. Okay?
I understand.
you.
Thanks for joining us.
See you. Good night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
Sarah. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.